today's Radiant You online retreat workshop. We are joined today by a dear, dear friend of mine. Her name is Emily Potter. Emily, give a quick wave, say hi.
Hello, everyone. It's good to see you. Good to be here.
I am so excited to share Emily's magic with you. Whenever her and I get together, we always create wonderful and beautiful, inspiring things. So I'm super happy that she said yes today. And before we jump in, I want to tell you more about Emily and what we're going to be doing, and take some deep breaths so we can get grounded and here and present so we can really take it all in. So let's go ahead and start there, and then I'll tell you what we have in store for you today. So I'm inviting us all to just close our eyes for a moment and just take a moment to really be present here with your breath in your body. So just feeling your breath as it's passing in and out of your body, feeling your chest rising and falling. And now just noticing anything that's been going on before this moment. Any of those heavy things that are weighing on you or keeping you from being fully present. Let's take a deep breath in together. And as we exhale, just letting that go. And now noticing anything that's coming in the future, anything you're worried about or anxious about, anything that's pulling you ahead of this moment. Let's take a deep breath in together. And as we exhale, just letting that go. And now let's take one more deep breath together, breathing in this moment, right here, right now. And when you're ready, you can open your eyes. Right. So for those of you who don't know me, my name's Elizabeth Foley. I'm an artist and a creative catalyst. I help women overcome their creative blocks so they can experience the joy of creative expression. And as I said before, I'm joined today by my good friend, Emily Potter. She is a ceremonial folk musician and director of the Lightworker Musicians Tribe. Emily is passionate about empowering other spiritually based creators to overcome their money blocks with the empowering tools that she developed herself when she overcame her starving artist syndrome. So here's what I want to say about Emily and why we're here together today is because a lot of us here are creators, we're artists, musicians, writers, and we're carrying around this story that we can't pay our bills and do what we love. And we can't really fully step into our most radiant life and living our most radiant life when we're carrying that story around. So it's time to break down some of those ideas that that's got to be one or the other, because it can absolutely be both. So that being said, Emily, welcome. I'm so excited to be here with you today.
Yes, I love talking about this. There's not much more I love talking about. I get all lit up inside. So I'm ready to just jump in wherever you'd like to go first.
Yeah, well, first, before we really jump in, I love your story. And I know we have some really cool tools for people, and I want to get to that. But just share a little tidbit of your story about what your story with being a starving artist was and how you overcame that.
Okay, so first of all, my experience is that the money system, the money matrix system, is designed to wear us down. It's designed to keep us limited, and the belief that we are not enough, that we're not able to be creators within the system. And so we continue to allow the sole purpose of being a creator to be on hold, or to be limited, or to be under a blanket in some way. And we're the ones doing the self-limitation, because we're in a world where we continually get worn down, and we see evidence after evidence of it being the truth. So it's designed. And so here's an example: is people who are watching this right now, they're going to feel this spark of inspiration, and it's going to last for about 30 minutes. It's going to last maybe 3 days. And then it's okay, because it's okay with the money system. And I'm not saying it's we're against each other, because actually that's not the way it works. But you're going to start to then get worn down, to say, okay, well, now that little fuel that I had I'm empty now. And so I was interested when I had my full-time job of breaking out of that, because I was hearing my soul's purpose as a musician call me. And my main question, I turned it into an experiment. Is this soul's purpose as a musician strong enough to be consistently sustainable? Could I actually break through this? I'm going to call it the money matrix, and all of the saturation that I'm getting of the messages of I can't be a full-time musician because I can't sustain this. I can't, all of these things, all of the questions we're getting, especially people who are struggling with the starving artist syndrome, which I did for many years, is if I was able to see clearly and get through all of that, would my soul's purpose as a creator, as a musician, be strong enough? And that was so fiery in me, Elizabeth. I had to quit my job and find out. So that's my story, is that I did that in April of 2015. And it's been 5 years now, with this year, that I have developed these tools. Some of them I'm going to give today, but there's many, many more that people can actually utilize in different areas of where they feel blocked. So I've then come out of this and saying, wait a second, I feel liberated. I've never felt so free. And now all I want is to passionately share this with other creators. I want other people to have these tools in their hands so that when they get worn down, when they're getting the messages of starving artist and you're not enough and you can't sustain yourself and your soul's purpose, they actually have a tool right in that moment.
Yes. So just so y'all know, like, first of all, Emily didn't leave a job that she hated. She loved her job, and she knew that she had this calling to be a musician. And then she traveled around the world as a musician for a couple of years. And that's kind of a whole nother story. But I also want to say this, because some of you might be already starting to tune out, like, oh, well, she's a musician, this won't work for me. Or what does this have to do with me, right? But like, I know you. I know those of you out there that are like painters and writers and all of the other arts and creative things, right? That think like it will work for you too. Like these tools are for anybody that has a purpose and a passion and something that they want to get out there in the world. This is about breaking down our money mindset.
Right.
Is about like what it is we have to share in the world.
Well, because what we have in common is we as creators, as artists, are receiving the same message that
Mm-hmm.
you can't be a full-time artist and sustain yourself. You can't, a writer, you know, whatever genre of creation that you want, dancer, we're all receiving that message. And you know, a story in my life is my grandfather, who I love. He heard me playing the piano one time in his house, and he said, that was really nice, but don't quit your day job.
Mm-hmm.
That's like a regular way that we love each other, is to give that kind of warning. That's the kind of inundation that we're receiving, is this loved one is telling me not to quit my day job. That was after I had already quit my day job 4 years before. but I said, thank you, granddad, love you. And
yeah, I mean, I got the message too, right? I was told get a marketable skill. I was also told, no, you can't go to art school. You have to go to a 4-year university because you need a marketable skill. Like that rings in my head so much. And part of me is still like, I'm not really sure what that means, but that's another story.
And I'll just say also that the tools aren't for everyone. They're not for everyone. And that's one of the tools I'm going to actually delve into. Is 99% of the people listening, this may be just really interesting and you're curious, but there's no changes that will be made because perhaps the call of the creation isn't strong enough, or the fear is overcoming the call. And that's okay. That's where I was for years before I was like, wait a second, it's time for me now. It's gotten too uncomfortable. So perhaps people get to have access to these tools and then begin now to cultivate that strength with them.
Yeah, I love that. Yeah, and I know that there's some people out there that are like, I just like to create for me. And like, that's enough too. And we empower you. And that's great too. Listen in, and if you can use something, awesome. So
right.
Awesome. What do you have to share with us today?
All right. So I want to first share that there's only so much we can do within this little scope of a mini workshop, but we're going to go anyway. So I've asked for a pen and paper or a laptop, some kind of writing tool. And the first thing, so you're going to be a participant, Elizabeth. The first tool is to ask this one question to yourself. Write this down. If I had $1 million, I would be so, and then you're going to put in the word.
Is this just one word?
Yes.
Oh.
Okay. Do you have it?
Just one word. I
Yeah,
don't
one
know.
word. Like, just feel it. If I had $1 million, I would be
This is mine.
so free. Okay, so you would feel so free. You would be so free. Do you want to share a moment's worth of that? What about that? The $1 million brings you freedom.
Yeah. Wow. What does that mean to me? Yeah. I mean, it means that like, yeah, I can go wherever I want to go and spend my days as I want to spend them. And this is a funny thing because everything about financial success, this is like my marker. I can walk into whatever grocery store I want and just buy whatever groceries I want. And I don't have to like look at the budget list or make decisions or have to be in the moment of like, ooh, do I get organic or not organic? Like I just buy what I want. That's what free is to me.
Oh, you know what? I have the same definition. I do. I really do. I've had too many times in my starving artist syndrome when I had to play out being a starving artist. I have an example of how I actually could only eat a potato a day. Have I told you that story? I could only eat a potato because I believed that I couldn't eat any more. I had to like ration everything. And so I would go into a store and just get potatoes. Oh my goodness. So free. $1 million means freedom. So that's exciting. So now you're free because you would be so free with $1 million. So with that same feeling, now that happened today. Now we're going to take you into tomorrow. Okay. We're in a new set of moments right now together. And Elizabeth, you get the news that the whole monetary system completely collapses and your money is worthless. What does that feel like? What happened to your $1 million? What if that happened? I would be so, and you don't have to write all those words, but if that did happen, what comes up for you?
What comes up for me is two things. One is like some fear and anxiety. And also the other that comes up for me is community, is like knowing that I have connection and resources. Yeah. And that's, yeah.
So people would most likely go in, if they haven't done any money alchemy work, which is what I call how I mentor this money alchemy work, they go straight into that fear and panic. And maybe even just this like deep disappointed, just despair. I had this money and it's gone now. And there's a sadness. Now, I'm going to talk just briefly about the fact that you have community, and I just want to commend you that is a form of wealth that you have cultivated. So I won't go into that, but that's definitely a form of wealth. The next part I want you to write with this tool number one is financial freedom means being liberated from, and then write in the word. Financial freedom means being liberated from. What did you write down?
Okay, well, first of all, I broke the rules. I wrote more than one word.
What?
Yeah, I know.
I can't do anything. I'm through a screen, so.
I told everybody there's no rules in Cosmic Smashbooking, so I broke them. So being liberated from, it's two things came up for me, is stress. The other one is have tos, like the things I have to do.
Okay, financial freedom to you means being liberated from financial stress and have tos. All right, so people doing this workshop, this number one tool is to fill in this, and I'm going to share mine. Financial freedom, with all of the work that I got to do to cultivate something, weed out all of that scarcity mindset that I had, and being able to go around the world, 14 different countries as a musician full time. Financial freedom now does not have a single thing to do with a penny, a dollar, the amount in my bank account. It has to do with being liberated from fear. When I am financially free, I'm liberated from fear. So coming back to the first one, if you get $1 million, the response is yippee, yippee. If you lose $1 million, your response is yippee. It can be the same neutral place because your financial freedom cannot ever be taken away or given to you ever. You are in a place of such security within yourself that come what may, bring it on. My soul's purpose is more powerful than what's in my bank account. Whatever is in $1 million or $1 billion or $1, it's truly the wealth of being liberated from the fear that brings the power. That's been my experience. And if whatever it takes to be able to get to that place of neutrality with money, I get $1 million, yippee. I lose $1 million, yippee.
I don't know about all of you watching, but I got some work to do to get to that place.
I've been doing this. This is pretty much all I work on, because for me, it's been one of my biggest hangups. I want to be a musician. And I have to tell you, one of my insecurities as a musician is that I haven't been giving it the time that I need to, but that's because I've been taking every single day to work on this first, so that I can have this be my foundation. And it's just my road. It's what I've needed to do so that I can actually go and I have both happening, but I wanted to at least say that this has been my work. This is why I'm so passionate about it. So I'm ready to take us to the next tool if you want. Did you want to say more about your experience with that one?
Yeah, let's do it.
Okay. Number 2, you can actually write this down, or you can just listen to the question and then just write down the answer. So I'm going to say it and then you can tell me what you feel prompted to do. Number 2, is there anything at all that would prevent you from making your soul's purpose my top priority? Anything at all? So as if I was going to say me, is there anything at all that would prevent me from making my soul's purpose my top priority? Okay. So what comes up for you? I have 5 in front of me right now that people have answered. I want to hear.
I'm sure this one's probably on your list. Yeah, taking care of my kid.
Yeah, kids. Yes.
Yeah, that's the big one. Yeah.
Yeah. So kids. Anything else? Anything at all that would prevent you from making your soul's purpose your top priority? And you're a good example of living your soul's purpose. So how about what do you feel like people would say?
I think I know that people like in my community struggle with believing in themselves, but even more specifically, like in their work, in that like their work has value in the world.
I love that. And I've put that word as fear. So if the fear that I'm not enough, or the fear I don't have enough value. So yes, fear of whatever that looks like, however it's being portrayed. So yeah, fear, children. So I put the word family. Yeah. And then there's 3 more that I put down. So as number 2 tool, just write these 5 down. So you wrote kid, your child, you wrote, fear or not feeling like I'm enough kind of thing. And then I would say money is a big one for people. Well, when I have the money, then I can be more free to do that, is a reason why people don't make it a priority. Yeah. Time is a big one.
Oh, right. Yeah.
And then the last one is health. People struggle with their health and having that come as a priority first. So those are the 5 top ones. So there's not an answer for everyone for this. It's something to really explore, but there is a tool that I would love people to write down. Oh, I can wait till you're done though.
Oh no, go for it. Yeah.
Okay. I have looked at the model of the money system, and how we feel the most secure is with insurance. We like insurance in the money matrix a lot. We like health insurance, car insurance, house insurance. We like insurance. So when I was figuring out these tools for myself, I thought, I wonder how I could possibly give insurance to my soul's purpose. And I figured it out in one sentence. It's a full coverage insurance plan for my soul's purpose. And this is what it is. So people listening to this can push pause and write this down. And so you can as well, but I also will just let you know here. So here's the sentence. Within the reality of all my situations and liabilities, including but not limited to money, family, time, health, fear, I'm doing whatever it takes to live my soul's purpose. Signed, Emily Ann Potter. The key words here, so that's a lot to memorize when you're just walking down the street or driving in your car. So the full coverage insurance plan tool is the words whatever it takes. Now, this is what weeds people out, whether they want to go and live their soul's purpose or not. This is the sentence. And the reason why, I'm going to go a little deeper into the tool. Whatever it takes is the answer to every question. Well, how much is it going to cost me? What's the answer?
Whatever it takes.
How am I going to get through? How am I going to find the time? It's whatever it takes. I can't quite figure out this and that and the other. What is it going to cost me? How much time is it going to take me? How long is this going to take with how I'm trying to heal my body? It's all part of it. Here's the thing about soul's purpose. And I say soul's purpose as a synonym to being a creator. So the art and the music and the writing and the dancing, I see it as synonymous. Okay. And I also, I'm getting chills because there's a lot of truth there. I also see it as within the balance of what people have already built. So you've built a family, you have a son. There's no ignoring your son to live your soul's purpose. There's room. Soul's purpose is you. It's your soul. There's room to live your soul's purpose as a mother and as an artist. There is room. It's where people get stuck and where they don't give themselves this insurance is when they feel like they have to choose. And that's a scary place. Big scary place. But this is why there's a lot of kindness in the words whatever it takes, as the full coverage insurance plan is. You have time to reflect, you have time to imagine what is the most ideal. Do I want a babysitter? Do I want a nanny? Do I want to spend the next 10 years with him and not worry about my art and then revisit it in the next decade? There's time. And I know people can make their excuses, and I'm not trying to talk for anybody, but in general, this is a place to begin. And I say this as a money tool because money is an energy. And so bringing this energy onto it, the energy of whatever it takes onto however much money you have or don't have is a very powerful tool that I've experienced. And I'll share again, I did the impossible that I thought was impossible. I was able to travel to Asia and all over Europe for 6 months. It's Europe for 6 months on a dime. And it's because of this, whatever it takes. There were times where I'm like, I have no idea how I'm going to get a plane ticket home. and there was a whatever it takes feeling that got me through that.
I'm just going to interject. Like, Emily is not using the word dime figuratively. Nope. Like, that's a literal thing. That was like how much money was in her pocket.
Well, no, negative dime.
Okay, yeah.
Yeah, it's a new relationship with money, so that there it is again. The first tool is that neutrality, right? So it doesn't matter if I'm negative 100 million, if I'm positive 100 million. It's okay. My soul's purpose is more powerful than those things. That's a powerful place to be.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So I want to pause here for just a minute with the idea. I'm really loving this idea of whatever it takes. Like it's really like firing me up, right? Because I'm thinking about like, right, what has it taken me to get from like feeling trapped in the full-time job that I was never going to get out of to like, here I am living my dream, selling my artwork, working for myself, working from home. Like it's taken whatever it takes. It's taken me saying that over and over and over again. It's things like what we were just talking about before we turned on the call. Like, yeah, my days are full. Like I'm homeschooling my kid and then I have calls and then I'm going to work. And that's what it takes. It takes saying that, yeah, it's dinner time and tonight I'm going to work. I mean, it also is saying, right now it takes me resting, even though there's a pile of work. It's both of those things, right? But it's also like when I think about selling artwork, right? Whatever it takes means I don't just put it out there once and go, oh, nobody bought it. Like, what was me? I'm going to go eat worms, right? I put it out there again and again and again and again. And I find different ways and different avenues. And, you know, it's not like whatever it takes isn't like, oh, I sent an email and nobody bought it. Like whatever it takes is like, I call the friend, and when he doesn't answer, I call the friend again. And like, again, this isn't like a theoretical conversation. Like I must have made 6 phone calls to somebody who said they were going to buy a painting a few months ago, and they kept not answering and they kept not returning my message. And whatever it takes meant I kept calling them back every time.
This is the discerning factor I've seen with people I collaborate with and myself. Is this the whatever it takes moment? What do people do in this whatever it takes moment? What do they do?
Yeah.
They make an excuse, they hide in fear. That's okay. Actually, it's all okay, because the thing about the soul's purpose is that it's your whole life long. So there's no judgment on it. It's just, where are you now? But I share that the whatever it takes spirit is more powerful than the bills, more powerful than the money situation. That's what I'm driving home. It is more powerful. Where it looks dire, just dire. That's the funniest thing, when I got myself into some situations where it was dire. I have an article I wrote about $10,000 landslide, where it wasn't just $1,000. It became, in a 3-month period, just landslide of money I owed. And by the end of the 3 months, I owed different people. People were like, oh, this broke down in my house and da 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 da. I own a home that like $6,000 plus then and at the end of it all is about $10,000. And I'm a musician living right then, at the time I was in Croatia and Romania, and it's whatever it takes. It's okay. It's okay. I'm more powerful. This is more powerful than any of those things. And you know, I would just say there's a little bit of a caveat on this tool. I would say, don't say it until you're ready to say it. Don't fake this one. Don't say, I'm going to do whatever it takes, because then you're going to be inauthentic. Say instead, I'm considering embracing the spirit of whatever it takes. Don't pretend, because when you say whatever it takes, it's a massive energy, and it's on, and your soul's purpose is going to lead you into fire, and it's awesome. It's the adventure of a lifetime. So be prepared when you say it.
Yeah. My caveat on is that whatever it takes also means it takes taking care of yourself and taking care of your own self-care. It doesn't mean that you let that go.
No,
it means that, and you know.
Actually, I'll say I'm also a mentor, and I haven't chosen to do any mentoring for a while, which means that money wasn't coming in, just for a year of self-care, because I had forgotten so much. So I focus on self-care instead of making money. So I'm a huge advocate of what you're saying. It's a year of taking care of myself so I can get aligned, so that I'm more in alignment to go forward, instead of rushing around pretending that I know what I'm talking about. Didn't want to do that. Yeah. Okay, so how are we doing on time? I have one more thing to say, but
I think we're good. Yeah.
To continue?
Yeah.
Okay, so this is the last one, and it's really short, but it's one of the most powerful ones. I want you to write down the words safety versus freedom. Okay, now I want to just say that I'm speaking specifically with the monetary relationship, your relationship with money. And both of these things are really, really interesting, and we deserve to have both. In this world of limitlessness, I have both. But when someone is first beginning this journey with money alchemy, there is a very strong choice that needs to be made between the one or the other. So if you're looking at, and this is crazy hard, I mean, I have a lot of compassion for this. If you're looking at these two words, safety versus freedom, which one are you most drawn to? And that's the tool. I can explain a little bit more. I can explain a little bit more if you'd like.
Yes, please.
Yeah. So most of the world is going to say they could possibly say freedom. We like freedom, but choose safety. Okay. Safety means My soul has told me, my intuition has told me to, I'm going to say big ones, like quit my job, but I'm scared, so I'm going to stay safe. Okay. My soul has told me, my intuition has told me to take a risk in investing in myself, in spending thousands of dollars for this course with this mentor that I feel drawn to. My heart is saying to go here, but I'm not going to because it doesn't feel safe, even though it's going to bring me freedom. Those are two good examples.
Mm.
Okay. So people choose safety because of fear, and thus they are choosing safety versus freedom. Once again, it's just where you are on your path. I bring it in as a tool for whatever is igniting you in that moment where you're excited, then you find out how much it costs, and then you're like, I can't, all of a sudden. What happened? Did your soul just like say, just kidding? Did what happened when there was like a little dollar sign? What happened? Did the world collapse? Like, no, I just can't, because you're choosing safety. That's okay. It's just, it's not going to get you where you want to go with how your heart has ignited you. So choosing freedom means investing in yourself, means not knowing the answers, not knowing where the leap of faith is going to take you, but you know that you're choosing freedom instead of staying safe. So the tool is really just that you have it now. You have those two words, and in those moments where you see the dollar signs and people go, and they're not in that neutral place with tool number one yet, they're here and they're saying safety versus freedom. Safety versus freedom. Do I want safety? Do I want freedom? That's a really quick little tool right in the moment. Do I want freedom? Do I want, and choosing, I'll just say my own experience, choosing to follow my heart through the dark forest, closing my eyes and having my heart wide open has been the liberation of my lifetime. It's been where I have been the happiest. It's led me on the greatest adventures, and I never regret it. So that's my experience. And that's the last tool that I want to share today.
Beautiful. I love it. You know, that choice is really resonating for me, just because just like 2 days ago, I had this realization. I was in a class and we were asked, like, what is it that you want? Right. And most everybody, it was like, you know, you could see the chat. It was like freedom and fulfillment, all of these things. And I noticed that very few people said comfort, right? Very few people said comfort. Very seldom do we say safety, but we choose it in our actions all the time. And there's nothing wrong with that. Like, if that's what you want, awesome. But it's like, it just is a real like light bulb moment for me in how much it's like we say we want one thing, but we choose something different. So it's like, if we're saying we want freedom, or if we're saying that we want to like be successful with our art, then we have to also like take the steps that get us there. You know, we have to make the choices that get us there. So,
you know, I would say that safety does come with a level of comfort, because choosing freedom is uncomfortable. That's
risky.
been my
yeah, it can be risky for sure. So anyway, I always love getting to hang out with you, Emily, and hear about your journeys, and this is a really good tool. It's opened some stuff up for me for sure. So for all of you listening, I'd love to hear like what opened up for you from this conversation, and I'm gonna like, hopefully Emily is okay with this. I'm just doing it, but I'm giving you homework, but it's like the good kind of homework, and that's to write down your insurance policy. Like, if you want to pretty it up and use colors and put it in your smash book, but like write down your insurance policy, and come over and share it in the group. Share what your insurance policy is. What's that like guiding light for your relationship with money? And yeah, so
That's
I'd love to.
Great piece of homework. That's a great. Yeah,
I'm glad Emily approves. And I know you've got some more tools for us. You've got a really great free gift. So tell us what that is.
Yeah, so the free gift is a masterclass delving a little bit deeper into these and then some other ones. So the masterclass is actually giving you the availability to then take it even deeper. So it kind of is a whole trail of how far you want to go in. So the masterclass is called Your Soul's Purpose is More Powerful Than Your Bills. And it's about an hour with me. It's free online workshop. You can sign in at a time that works for you, and it's always available. And then it leads you into the depth of the course that I created with the master tools. And these are all ones that I created while I was traveling as a musician. So it's all just, nothing is from theory. It's absolute practical application, and that I wanted to share with other creators.
Beautiful, beautiful. Well, encouraging all of you to sign up for that. If you know you've been letting money hold you back from really living your dream, like take this opportunity, because it's a super generous gift that will help open things up for you so that you can see the possibility. So thank you so much, Emily, for being with us today. And thank you to all of you for taking time out of your day to nurture yourself and explore some new territory, perhaps. And yeah, it's just been a super pleasure to be with all of you today.